Hello everybody, Dodger here. Welcome back to Dirt Rally and welcome back to Pikes Peak. Continuing on, we are now into the Professional Championship of Hill Climb, which means more stages, more sectors, and probably nearing some full runs of Pikes Peak. This first one has us on Sector 2 and Sector 3 of the paved course. I have been making some setup changes and practicing a little bit, trying to get the car to steer into the turn a little better. I am reducing my brake bias, or I am making my brake bias closer to the rear to try and get it to pitch in on entry a little bit better. I am trying to use a little bit more handbrake, and I have gone ahead and on the front suspension added some camber, and I raised the stiffness of the rear anti-roll bar, trying to induce a little bit of oversteer, because overall been fighting understeer with this car pretty much all the time. Run number 1, sector number 2. Well, let's see how this goes. Sector number 2 is a pretty good one. Has some tricky sections in it though. Yep, that's going to be the theme of the day, is trying to induce a little bit more sliding. Car has gotten a weight reduction since that last attempt, or the last championship anyway. So it should be a little bit perkier now, and it does seem that way. It does seem like it has a little bit more pep in its step. We're working towards the first turbo upgrade on the car, which will definitely help. I should have done a little sliding right there. And a little less right there. Now this is only run 1. Looks like run number 2 is going to have to be the good one. This one's still salvageable. Well, it might not be. I think we may have lost the right rear. This feels a little funny. I'll know for sure. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely feels like it's dirting. So it may have... Oh! Those stupid solid hay bales. Those are really dumb. They're not hay bales, they're cinder block bales. Yeah, yep, it's pulling all over the place. Yep, just lost the rear tire. Okay, well... here we are. Can you get down from here? I just want to... I think I can still repair it. No? Maybe I can't. I'm stopped. Can you repair the tire? You cannot. I guess that is only a rally thing. Well, I hear it dragging now. There's no sense in trying to push it up the hill with no right rear. Alright, well, run number 1 ends with a retired. So we got a lot of work to do. Well, I just need to have a smooth, clean run 2, basically, is what this is. What this is setting up. Oh yes, I would like to repair it. Okay, smooth, clean run number 2. Can't take any unnecessary risks now. Gotta tone it down a little bit, because the competition is much stiffer now. So we can't afford to have like a 20-second second run here. Seems like maybe the car has livened up a little on exit as far as oversteer goes. See how it's... the back is wanting to swing around a little bit more under power. Still on corner entry and mid-corner. Right there. Fighting the nose. Wow. Interestingly, the car was much better in practice. Not sure what has changed, but it does not feel great right now. I think the only thing I changed is I went a little bit further on the rear brake bias, and that wouldn't cause the understeer that I'm having right now. So it's got to be between the driver and the car. And that would be me. Okay. Clean it up, Cone. Clean it up. I typically really like this second sector, especially on the paved version. Getting a little bit more handbrake in there. It's a tricky thing with the button-activated handbrake. Not only because it's, you know, on-off kind of deal. I'm only 5 seconds back, that's not too bad. But also because that button sometimes gets rotated down where it's a little hard to reach. Granted, in real terms, I would have to take my hand completely off the wheel to grab an actual, you know, handle. So, a little bit of a trade-off there. All right, this is where things start to get a little scary. Alright, that was pretty good entry there. Got it down into the too low of RPM range. I'm trying not to do that. That was a pretty good slide. I don't know if it was completely time effective, but it looked pretty good, didn't it? Didn't it? That was not very good at all. I just need a little bit more power to get it to come up out of those slower speed slides. That was pretty good. This is my main focus for today. Is these particular turns. I gotta start sliding earlier. I'm waiting till it's too far into the corner, I think. See, I should be sliding even earlier than that, I think. Okay, well, we had a green sector at the end. That's important and good. 336 puts us in third place. So that's not too bad for only having one run. Alright, well, let's carry on to Sector 3 and see if we can pick up some pace. Sector 3, during the sunset, need to repair the car. No, I said I need to repair the car. I need not to just look at it. There we go. Down we go. Start the run. Off we go. Well, let's see what we can do up here in Sector 3. It's a bit of a slow entry to that one. Kind of see what I mean about, well, two things there. About dragging the brake before you get to the turn and not letting the RPM drop into the 3,000 range, because then it just, turbo's not spooled up and it just won't go. I'm really struggling with that now. It's probably due to the fact that I am focused on trying to slide into the hairpins. I faced a little bit of ridicule for not doing so last time. So while we're still doing this sector by sector, now is the time to learn. Now is the time to try and practice those skills. So I'm going to do so. And although it was not the prettiest of sectors, it was still good enough to be green. Seems like maybe I've induced a little too much oversteer on brakes for these faster turns. Although it might be a happy balance, you know, you gotta get the car to be set up for both of the extremes. I have gone off here a lot, so that's the part I need to work on. That's a new place to go off. Don't hit the sign. Those are... Don't hit the boulders either. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Like, not to be right on course. Oh man, we're struggling today. Well, I say that, but it's not even really struggling. It's just that I don't know if you can tell, I'm trying to drive much harder than I was before. Now that I feel a little bit more comfortable with the layout, Gotta start to try and find speed, because it's only going to get more difficult from here as far as competition goes. And I would like to, in the end, be able to put a solid run up the hill together with a time that would be fairly competitive on the global rankings. Seems like the car could use a little bit more gear there, but it probably wouldn't be advantageous for the rest of the course. We'll see. That's a hairpin easily. Oh! I wonder why that happened. That was interesting. I guess I caught the rear tires in the dirt. Gonna have to just be patient with me as I adapt to running at this pace. But it will pay off in the end if I can get used to running at 10/10ths. Okay, here's the end. Uh-oh. 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 Okay. Did it? Yeah, it gave me a time. It gave me a time flipping over the side of the mountain across the line. I'm not even upset about that. That's perfectly fine with me. Oh man, really doing it with style. Interestingly, not a whole lot of repairs to make. I'm hoping this recover vehicle thing goes away. Okay, it did. It was stuck. It freaked out because what I did at the end there. Alright, let's try and do better here. Not bad. Got to stay on the blacktop. It's okay. It's got to be a happy medium, too, between sliding and sliding too much. There are some cases where just taking the turns normally would be much better for your time. Alright, that's a pretty decent first sector so far. So we'll say a good, what, 0.5 sector? Yeah, 5 seconds down there. Or up. 5 seconds to the good. Just using the brake to kind of correct the car there, not really getting it sliding. Gotta figure out what gears to be in for sections like this. Fifth seems okay. You know, above 5 grand, it still has plenty of power. And we'll go to 4th on this one. It stayed on track. That's encouraging. Don't run wide here either. Good. Still lost a couple seconds. Up to the hairpin once again. Or the one of the. Having a nice run, so let's not do anything crazy. A little bit too much dirt there. That was a section where it was nice to have the brakes set up with a little bit of rear bias because I was able to get it to pitch around just off the brakes, not having to grab the handbrake at all. Ooh, another good section. Made up those 2 seconds we lost earlier. Make sure not to run wide here. This would be a very bad place to do it. And we got... it's just past here. Yeah, there's the hairpin. Yes, this is shaping up to be a very good run. That's a scary spot. Come on. Okay, Let's not go flying off the finish line in a dramatic style again. Very nice. 2 greens, 2 reds, but we ended up 5 seconds up. That, I believe, is our first sector victory on Pikes Peak. So how about that? Very nice. Good job, me. Thanks, me. Puts us pretty close in the overall event standings. 2nd place, which I believe is what will count for the championship. 40% to that turbo upgrade. And obviously 2nd place in the overall championship standings as we move into what I assume will be another set of stages. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 on the mixed surface version. Okay, so now we're changing things up again. Sector 1 is mostly asphalt anyway, though. Off we go, sector number 1 of the mixed surface Pikes Peak course. Haven't been on sector number 1 today. Let's see if I remember it correctly. A little loose on the brakes right there. Taking it a little easy as I am getting reacquainted with this part of the track. Seems to be the correct way to do it, I think. Take it easy on the first run, get reacquainted, and then on the second run, go all out, try and get a good time. You always have that first run to fall back on. Unless you have an incident in your first run, and then you gotta take it easy on the second one. Not a lot of... Whoa! Whoa! Major bump down there that's unseen, huh? You don't have to recover me, I'm right here. Yes, you do. Guys. Okay, and now I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Everything's falling apart. Okay, well, this run's gonna be ruined, so I will silently finish out this run, get the practice under my belt, and then we'll try it again. Interesting little side note there. You just can't put tires off in that section. All right, in the end, it was a decent first run past the off-track incident. So I'm feeling pretty good here for run 2. Not going to push crazy hard. Only had a time good enough for 9th place in that first run. So like I mentioned earlier, it's important to get just a good clean run in on the second one if you have an issue on the first. So that's what we will do here. Car did not feel very good on the gravel. Then again, it's the first time I've been on it today, so perhaps I was just not adjusted to it. It's interesting, the car handles or slides much better on the asphalt than it does on the gravel, which is kind of the opposite of what you might think. I think it's just a predictability thing, because when you lock up tires on the asphalt, it's a much bigger swing, I think, of grip levels. You go from tons of grip to no grip. Whereas on gravel, you kind of go from, not very much grip to just a little bit less grip. A little harder to predict that way. Counter steer on that entry. They wanted to go. That's really the only serious hairpin of the first sector, or of the first stage, or whatever the heck this is called. I really wanted to talk about the jump car race last weekend, but I think Dirt Rally's probably not the place to do it. I'm too busy here behind the wheel. If you want to hear anything or more about my experiences at Jump Car, which I put a video up yesterday, like a little first-person perspective video yesterday. I'll put it at the end of the video. If you want to hear more about that, watch Race the Sun this week. That's kind of my vloggy series. So I'll go over the details of how everything went and the experience. Alright, this is actually going to be a very nice run. I've not pushed too terribly hard. I hate this part. Okay. This section is actually a little bit more forgiving on the dirt than it is in the asphalt. See, that's where I'm struggling. I can't get the car to rotate in the gravel like I can on the asphalt. This last sector, once again, is where I lost some time. Oh, just barely. 6/10 down. No stage victory for us. Oh well, second place. Not too bad. And then second place overall, obviously, as we move on to sector number 2 on the mixed. So that'll be fresh in our mind, but on the dirt. Alrighty, sector number 2 is 50% asphalt, 50% dirt. So it is very mixed indeed. It's got lots of hairpins, so I'll get to practice trying to get this thing to slide on them. This right here it's kind of a half hairpin. It's typically one of the ones I seem to struggle in. Because on the entry it looks like a normal turn, then it kind of turns into a hairpin. Certainly a lot more sliding required here. Can't wait to be able to do a little bit of clutch kicking. I think that's going to help a lot in these sections. That update was actually kind of scheduled to come out today. Looks like it got pushed back a few days. So maybe by next episode we'll have that and be able to experience that. That was way late on the brakes here. Decent recovery from it. Okay, now we're hitting the asphalt again. On this pretty quick section here. Car definitely seems to handle different on the asphalt during the mixed events. Some of that may be due to the setup changes. I noticed just in the default setup there's quite a bit different between the two. Yeah, it could be in tires, I'm not sure. Would only make sense if that were the case. You would run full slicks on the full asphalt version, and you'd run some kind of intermediate dirt tire, if you will, for this. So really quick section. that was braking induced oversteer, and it's not as good as handbrake induced oversteer because you can't throttle out of it. I think I just punched the microphone there. And if you can't throttle out of it, it's not very fast. That's how we want it to go. Just doesn't always work. That was also pretty good. Back to dirt. And understeer. Need to work on that. I mean, it only makes sense that it's going to be slower on gravel than it is on asphalt, but still seems like I could get the car to kick sideways more. It would make it a lot easier. Okay, there goes the mic again. It's not for lack of steering input, I can tell you that much. Cranking the wheel over. It just won't come around. I don't know why that is. That's pretty far down, 8 seconds or so. Good enough for 4th, but we need to improve. Alright, made a little bit of a change. Loosened up the front differential. so that under power it won't be as prone to pulling the front forward, or pulling the front straight is the idea there. It definitely seems to be the case that under throttle I'm not getting enough kick. Need the rears to spin up a little bit more than the fronts. Perhaps a change to the center diff could help as well. We'll see as we progress here. Feels a little bit better through those sections. I still feel like I'm fighting the nose. Now it's interesting, I'm fighting the nose, but I'm actually fighting the rear not coming around is the actual problem. Late for this one again. Not as late, but ran wide. It's interesting, having it mixed makes it look completely different. Even though it's the exact same layout, it's like I'm learning a whole new course. Trying to get a wider entry into there, it didn't work out. Very nice. See if I can get you to do that on the freaking dirt, would be great. Darn car. I'll send you back to France. Oof. That was a little bit more than we'd like to have. Not a good place for it to happen. This is a fast section. Gotta push it really hard up here. Good. That was a little bit more than I needed. Had to do a drift style wheel spin. It seems like we're already maybe 8 seconds down. 4. So this might not be much better of a run. Which we do have some good results to fall back on. Need be. Wall. Alright, I need some suggestions. What do I need to do on the gravel here to get the car to behave better? Setup wise, driving wise, you let me know. I've been trying to take all suggestions. This time it was use more handbrake. I'm using lots of handbrake. It's working well for the asphalt and not for the dirt. Maybe you drag it sooner? Could be part of it. But then yeah, I just can't, seems like it gets to the mid-turn and just goes dead straight. I was thinking it was only 6 back, so it was a little better. But only good enough for 4th. Oh, actually the first one was better. And that moved us to 3rd overall for this event, which should keep us in very good shape as far as the championship goes. Yeah, we're still in 2nd place. It's pretty close, so we can't really, you know, just completely screw up in the 3rd event. But the 3rd event will have to be next time here in Dirt Rally. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you then.